to, I'm going to give away my spa secret, the Spa del Sur at the top of the strip, south end of the strip, South Point's spa.
I'm not familiar with the name, but the South Point's a great property too.
So
I like it out there.
15 or $20. Yeah, it's got one of the better sports books too. But to get into their day spa during the day is like $25. But they have an actual deluge. Now, for those of you who know nothing about what a deluge is, it is just a large spigot of water that turns on over your head while you sit in a little tiny tub. So you basically have a waterfall dropping on you.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where it's at. And if I'm going to spend the extra money, I might as well go there and do it up.
Yeah. And it's not that far for, people think it's right on Las Vegas Boulevard, probably about, I'd say 6 miles south of Mandalay Bay. So it's really not too far out of the way. I mean, a lot of people want to be in the middle of it. Me, I prefer not to be in the middle of it. Even when I go to New York, like when I go back home, I stay up in Westchester, usually up in Irvington. I'm not really, I don't like really being in the middle of the city unless I have, actual things going on for my whole trip. So I'm more of an outskirts kind of guy too, because for me, I like to check out the whole entire place, not just the business section.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right. If you guys aren't jacked up and are already buying a ticket, go to LasVegasDiscount.net. Go stay at a nice hotel. In fact, go stay at the Mandalay Bay. I can't even stress how good the deal is there right now. It's like $125 for the weekend. You're not going to see this time of the year for $125 at the Mandalay Bay ever again. Ever.
No, it's a crazy number for that room.
Yeah, it's a $300, and everybody else is $300 a night. Mandalay Bay hurts. They're taking people at $1.25 to get the bodies in there. You can't beat it. Yes, I know that they have the ridiculous pay for parking and pay for the hotel fee and all the other horse crap, which, again, is why I'm staying at the Days Inn on my AAA rate. There's a lot to be said about why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I can't justify the extra expense on myself when I'm just going to be out and about anyway. There you guys go. There's all the tips. We've given you all the... Yes, and go to Giordano's, for God's sakes. How are you people not going to Giordano's? Go to Bally's. Go to Giordano's. Park in the back. Come through, all the way through the building. You get a couple hours free parking. Go eat at Giordano's. They have Wi-Fi. Spend the day. Wait your hour for your pizza. God, I love Chicago pizza. All right, I digress. I walk into Saturday with $520 in my pocket, assuming I do nothing else on Friday night except carb crash or go and train. I'm walking in on Saturday morning. I'm walking up to the sports book. I'm betting all 500. Am I going all 520, Bobby? Am I going big?
No, I don't really see anything on Saturday that I would say dive in and go huge on like that. A $500 wager. I don't, there's a couple of decent games, but nothing where, these are more the kind of games where this is good from a fan's perspective. We have a first time since 2002, we have 3 teams in the top 10 playing each other.
That's a problem already.
Yeah, exactly. So it's one of those weeks where you really got to take it easy because you know as well as I do in these high-profile games that anything can happen.
Yep.
So we got to, you got to really be careful and you got to look at what's going on and really be smart about things. But another game that I'm really liking to be right now that I'm looking at is, the first game on the docket, number 1, number 10, Georgia. Yep. I've been rolling Georgia all year, and I'm staying with Georgia. Georgia at -2.5 here. Once again, we're off that critical number of 3, and we're not on 7. So what happens here is we take Georgia minus the 2.5. We win by the field goal. We're in the money. We're also going to tease Georgia here. So this is a good spot with Georgia. I like Georgia, and I wouldn't even, Lee, I wouldn't even be against a Georgia-Washington 2-team parlay,
Okay. Am I using the other 100 on the tees here because I'm taking the straight bet on the 220? Or am I just...
Yes, we could...
Okay.
What I would suggest to do is we could do that. We'll do the Washington straight like we talked about, and then the Washington Georgia tease. That means we have the Washington game, which is probably in my opinion, probably the best college game of the week. I think the from a wagering perspective, I think that's the best game of the week for us is Washington. And you tack that on with Georgia there, you daisy chain that with Georgia, and if Washington comes in, you're really in the money. You know what I mean, Lee? You're looking real good if Washington comes in. Because what you do here is you can get Auburn on the other side, and you can, hedge your bet and make sure you're guaranteed to at least get something. That way, if, you're down for the weekend or if you need a few more bullets for the chamber, this is a good way to get them.
Yeah, it definitely is. All right, so we like Georgia minus 2.5. We like it as a tease. We got those both circled on the calendar. Alabama at Mississippi State. Here's a big lopsided one. This is going to be a monster lopsided point spread here?
No, it's only minus 14.
Really?
Yeah, Mississippi State, we're getting into the meat of that SEC schedule, and it's just like that Georgia-Auburn game.
What's the money line look like on that game?
I haven't seen the money line. I don't have the money line up across my board here, but for a minus 14, I'm saying it's probably in the range of somewhere around minus 350, minus 400.
Right.
So, $40 to win 10, so 400 to win 100.
I mean, it looks good on a simple money line parlay. Like it's an easy one to swing it to just even get the bounce of getting a couple extra points because I'm parlaying it with something else.
Yeah, look, there's definitely some money line parlays to be had this week. There's no doubt. I mean, I think Northwestern on the money line against Purdue is a good bet this weekend. That's probably sitting at around probably 170, minus 170 or so. I think Notre Dame is a great bet on the money line against Miami. So, there's some good plays, and when you get in on Friday and stuff, we'll be able to sit down and maybe be able to find some other things that jump out to us as we're putting in the first wager, and then when we do the Saturday show, we can have some more stuff for Sunday too.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about Notre Dame at Miami of Florida. What am I looking at here?
This is my favorite game of the week, meaning the game I'm most excited to watch. I'm really excited about this game. I like Miami a lot. Historically, Miami has been a powerhouse team. They've been out of prominence for a while, and they're finally back. They're in the top 10. They're 8-0. They control their own destiny at this point. Miami could easily end up a playoff team. Notre Dame, on the other hand, man, let me tell you, this Notre Dame team has really impressed me this year. Josh Adams, the running back for Notre Dame, has just really been playing well. And, with an 8-1 record, their only loss being to number 1 Georgia, you really got to take this Notre Dame team seriously and think that this team has a legit shot of pushing the envelope and going the whole way, and maybe even winning the national championship if things fall their way. I mean, they're that good. They have that kind of talent.
What's the spread on the game?
Minus 3.5 in this game, and even though it's on that key, it's on that key number of 3.5. We're still going to bet Notre Dame here. I like Notre Dame. I have Notre Dame as at least a touchdown favorite in this game, so I'm even comfortable if it goes to 4.5, because I think Notre Dame is a very, very good team. I think Miami is a good team as well, but I don't think that they're ready for this game just yet. They haven't cut their teeth against anyone that's Notre Dame's caliber yet. So I think Notre Dame is another good bet here. And I'll tell you what, Washington, Georgia, Notre Dame might not be a bad way to go either.
Nice.
A three-team parlay. That might be a real nice three-team money line parlay as well as, on the points.
Clemson at Florida State. No, at Clemson. They're at Clemson.
Yeah, they're in Clemson. They're at Memorial Stadium. Florida State is just what can I say about Florida State? They're just bad this year. You got a Florida State Clemson game where you can get tickets for $41. I would have told you were crazy if you would have told me that at the beginning of this year. So, you got Clemson here, number 4 in the country. They're 8-1, 6-1 in the ACC. They still control their own destiny as well. They should really bust Florida State up here in this game. It's 16.5 point spread. I think Clemson covers that spread, but to be safe, we're going to tease them down to 10 as well.
There you go. Oklahoma at TCU.
And this is another one of those games.
No, they're in Oklahoma. They're in. Forgive me, I'm off today. They're in Oklahoma.
Yeah, they're in Norman.
Yep.
So this is a big game. This is a very, very big game. TCU, like I've said for the whole year after the first couple of seasons, I'm a believer. This is a good ball club. I've been on them all season, and I think that their high rank is warranted. I think that they deserve to be where they are. Darius Anderson for TCU has been running the ball real well lately, has 7 touchdowns, real good running back. But I don't in this game, I just don't think they're not going to be able to do what it takes to beat Oklahoma and Norman, in my opinion. Oklahoma's minus 6.5 here, and once again, we're off of that key 7. I'm going to go with Oklahoma minus the 6.5. We're going to tease Oklahoma as well and get it down to that half point. But I'm comfortable with Oklahoma here, minus 6.5. I have them at about a 9-point favorite in this game. So I think that with Baker Mayfield he's really he could put a stranglehold on the Heisman in this game. This is the kind of game where men are made, and I think that's the kind of game that Mayfield's going to have. I like Oklahoma here.
That takes us to Wisconsin versus Iowa in Wisconsin.
Yeah, and this, here's the thing with Iowa. When they're on the road, they're nowhere near as good as they are at home. I mean, it's such a stark difference with this team when they're at Kinnick Stadium. Like I said last week with Ohio State, and I was high on Iowa last week because going into that stadium, it's really tough for teams. Ohio State was coming off of that big emotional win, so that was last week though. This week, Wisconsin minus 12.5 at home at Camp Randall, I really like. I think Wisconsin wins this game by at least 17. I think Iowa's a good team. I don't think they're a great team. I think they're an awesome home team. Road team, I think they're just fair to Midland. I like Wisconsin here minus 12.5. We're going to bet them on minus the 12.5, and we're also going to be taking them down to tees to get them off of that key 7 and down to the 6 range.
Auburn taking on Georgia.
Yeah, this is that one we were discussing earlier.
Yeah. My bad.
But
yes.
It warrants another discussion. I mean, this is one of those games. This is Auburn and Georgia, SEC for all the marbles. You got a team that in the SEC this late in the season that is in Alabama. It has to get some heads going, and it just goes to show you.
Auburn worry you at all?
Oh, it definitely does. Look, that's why I said this isn't the kind of week where you go, you back the Brinks truck up like we did for GSP. This isn't that kind of week. Yep. But what I do like here is I do think Georgia is the kind of team that has enough moxie, and I think that they have enough talent to go into Auburn and win this game by more than the 2.5 that they should win by. It should be a close game, but I'm confident that Georgia does enough to pull it out. I think that this is Georgia's year. I think they end up even beating Alabama this year, guys. I really do.
Wow. Let's keep going down the card because there are some other incredible top teams actually going off. We've got SC at Colorado.
Yeah, look, Colorado's a scrappy team. This is a good game here. I mean, USC is a 8-2 team, number 11 in the country. You got Sam Darnold, who I cannot stand. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of USC minus 13 in the hook here. I'm not comfortable with that. And to tell you the truth, I don't even know if I'm comfortable teasing USC down here, and I'm not comfortable betting Colorado either. So this is the kind of game where I'm going to bet. I'm going to bet the total in this game. I'm going to bet the over 64.5 in this game, wow. And I'm going to tease that down as well and get it to about 58. I like it both ways. I think USC can score some points, and I think USC puts up a decent lead on Colorado that makes Colorado throw the ball around the field a little bit more, and that opens up mistakes, some big plays down the field, and maybe even a defensive touchdown. I'm looking for 1 or 2 defensive touchdowns in this game.
Saturday morning's biggest game, Michigan at Ohio State.
Yeah, Michigan State at Ohio State. You got Sparty going into Ohio State. This is a big one. Number 12, number 13. Yeah, Michigan State's coming off a huge win. Ohio State's coming off of a huge loss. Everybody knows how I feel about Ohio State. But in this instance here, I think Ohio State on the teaser is probably a decent bet. I'm not sold on Michigan State yet. They have a lot of young players, a real good running defense, but I think they're coming in on that emotional high where Ohio State's coming in pissed off, coming back home. Look, Ohio State's a different team at the shoe. They're very good at home. Very good at home. And I could see Barrett having a good game tomorrow. I like Ohio State in this game on the tees. I don't have any desire to bet them at 15.5. And you know what? I don't really have any desire to bet this game one way or the other.
No,
and
I'm just a watcher.
Yeah, I'm gonna retract that statement about betting teasing Ohio State down. I'm gonna tease Michigan State up to 22, and I think that might be a safe play. 3 touchdowns is probably a safe place with Michigan State's defense.
Penn State at taking on Rutgers.
Man, oh man, my Penn State, how the mighty have fallen.
Right.
We're sitting at 7-2, 4-2 in the Big Ten. The lowly Rutgers are coming into University Park, coming into Happy Valley.
And they need to win by about 100.
Yeah, Penn State's minus 31 in this game.
Jesus.
They will cover the spread in this game. Penn State should beat this team by 40. Penn State's going to come out. They're going to run the ball like wild men all over Rutgers. Rutgers has no business even being in the Big Ten. They should have stayed over. They should stay in the Big East. They should go to the ACC. They have no business being in the Big Ten, and that'll be shown on Saturday for sure.
Oklahoma State at Iowa State.
hey, this is going to be a big game, boys and girls. You know, Ames is a fiery place. It's going to be a good game. We have